Welcome back to Monona Grove High School and congratulations to the senior class of 2025. My name is Susan Bishop. I'm one of 4 high school counselors and I'm here to share with you information that will be very helpful to you as you plan for post-high school, in particular if you plan on going on for further education. For starters, your graduating class size is 271. You might need this when you're filling out applications. As a reminder, there are 4 school counselors. As I said, am Susan Bishop. I work primarily with students, last names A through F. Mr. Karsh works with students primarily, last names G through LA. Mr. Groff, the students LE through R. And Ms. Burke with students, last names S through Z. While we are all here for questions, when you are working with your college applications, oftentimes you will want to talk to your specific counselor, except dealing with workshops that I will talk about later. First things first, we strongly recommend that you meet with your school counselor prior to submitting your college applications. You can see Miss Boyd and she will help you set up a meeting time. The reason we like you to do this is if you submit something and there are errors, oftentimes it's very difficult, very few times, but sometimes impossible to change things. So please, please, please schedule time to meet with us. I'm going to talk about this senior information form that you see in line 1 in a little bit. Please check your school email at least once every other day. You're going to have things that come in from the school counselors or from our school in general that talks about things that might be important to you. So it's a great habit to get into. When completing things regarding post-secondary education, we strongly encourage you to use an appropriate personal email address. The main reason for this is you will lose your email and your Google accounts and any saved things you have in these Google documents very soon upon graduation. So if there are things you do want to save, be sure you start saving them into multiple locations at this point. Finally, with the first thing first, senior year matters. We say this because obviously your entire life matters, right? But after you submit applications, your grades still matter. You will need to send a final transcript upon graduation, and any college or university to which you apply will look at that transcript. If you have not maintained or improved the level of where you are at, they can and may rescind your admission to the school. I said I was going to come back to that form, your senior information form. The senior information form, which I'm going to open up right now, this is a form that we need you to fill out, and you will give this to your school counselor and to anyone else that you might be asking to write a letter of recommendation. As you can see from this form, it asks who you are, your pronouns, what you plan on doing. We have some very specific questions we would like you to answer. Page 2 talks about extracurricular activities, volunteer activities, and work experience. If you are a student who has chosen to have a resume for page 2, you certainly could attach that instead. On page 3, it talks about where you are needing this application to go. So what are you doing this for? Why did you fill out the form? You will put in this column here the college or university or the scholarship name, the application format. For colleges, it typically will be the common application, the UW-Madison application, the Universities of Wisconsin system application, or another school, scholarship, or employment. So when you put the school here, so let's say you put down here University of Minnesota Twin Cities, over here you will likely circle common application. If you're talking about a college or university admission, you're going to indicate with a circle of what application type. Is it early decision, early action, or regular decision, or rolling admission? You will fill this out for each and every school. If you are applying to a school and it is not the common application that you're filling out, you will also need to indicate in this college area what is the address or email address that you would need a letter of recommendation sent to, because that is how your recommenders will get that information to the schools. So talking about letters of recommendation, your teachers will often be the ones who will write letters of recommendation, and they will need the senior information form prior to doing that. Some tips regarding letters of recommendation. First of all, do not ask for a letter of recommendation unless you need one. There are some schools that will not accept letters. If that is the case, do not ask for one. When you do ask a teacher, ask in person. See if they are willing to write you a positive letter of recommendation. Schools are looking primarily for a core level of teacher, or a core teacher, which would be English, math, science, or social studies. Sometimes when they're looking, if they ask for a second letter or are willing to accept a second letter, then it can be good to ask somebody in a specific area. So let's say you plan on majoring in engineering, it might be great to ask a teacher who taught you for a Project Lead the Way course. Again, you will ask them in person. If they say yes, if you are applying to schools through the Common application, what will happen is within the Common app, you will invite the teacher. You will do this through an email. You will do that in a general area, but then for each school that you want a letter to go by that teacher, you will need to also assign them. Further information on this, it will be included in a handout that we'll show you a link to. If you are needing a letter of recommendation and you are applying not through Common application, again, on that senior information form that I showed you previously, you will indicate where that letter needs to be sent by school name and the address or email address to which it needs to be sent. If you've asked a teacher previously, make sure you follow up with them. Give people at least 2 weeks to 1 month to write these letters. They take a long time to do, and it happens during people's free times typically. And once your letter is done, please write thank you notes. It's the polite thing to do, and people really appreciate that you are acknowledging the time that they spent. On this slide, it talks about the FERPA waiver. It explains what FERPA means, but as a general rule, what it is saying is you are or are not waiving rights to see things that are submitted on your behalf. So as an example, if someone writes a letter of recommendation, if you have waived your FERPA rights, that means you will not see what has been written. Some staff members will not write a letter unless you waive that right. Even if they will, what we do want you to know is colleges oftentimes do not take the letters of recommendation as seriously or hold as much weight to them if you have not waived those rights. So consider that when you're making that decision. It obviously is your decision. Talk about it at home with your families, but I would say for the most part, students do choose to waive that so that their application is looked at in the light that it's meant. This slide talks about first year and admission for our freshman students. It's specific to the Universities of Wisconsin system. We understand that not all students will apply within Wisconsin. We also understand that not all students go there, but a majority of our population is at least applying there. There are changes that most of you are likely aware of, that there are 3 different ways to have admission into the Universities of Wisconsin system. The 3 paths are direct admit, the Wisconsin Guarantee, and the traditional application. So in knowing this, I'm going to click on this link for a moment. This will take you to the Universities of Wisconsin website. And from there, you're going to see the 3 pathways that I talked about. The nice thing is it'll give you some very specific information. So from direct admit, obviously you can click right on there. It'll give you more information about direct admit. Wisconsin Guarantee, if you click here, it'll talk more about the Wisconsin Guarantee. And the traditional admission, this will talk more specifically about that. What we want you to know from this is that there are specific things that you will need to do depending on how you are applying. Scrolling farther down on that page, you will see a table that shows the 3 different pathways of admission into the Universities of Wisconsin system. The first column, the traditional admission, is how people have always applied in the past, the traditional way. The second column talks about direct admit Wisconsin. All schools except for UW-Eau Claire, UW-La Crosse, and UW-Madison are participating in the direct admit Wisconsin program. If you met the qualifications to be in one of those programs, you would have received a letter this summer, likely the beginning of August. We will talk a little more about what you need to do if you would like to go that route. The final column is the Wisconsin Guarantee. All of the Universities of Wisconsin system schools are participating in the Wisconsin Guarantee. What you will see down here talks about how you would know if you are part of this. While we do not provide class rank to students, we do have them submitted to the UW systems as far as if a student is in the top 5%, which means they're admitted to all of the UW schools, and yes, that includes UW-Madison, or the top 10%, which means you're included into all of the UW schools except UW-Madison. This table will have lots of information that's very important for you to know, and below that are frequently asked questions. But something I do want to point out on here, we'll talk about applications. So are applications required? Again, we're in the traditional column right here. Yes, you need to fill out a traditional application to the Universities of Wisconsin. For direct admit, it's not a traditional application, so it says no, but you must go to the Universities of Wisconsin page to fill out the direct admit form. And again, that Wisconsin guarantee based on the top 5 or 10%, yes, you must fill out a traditional application. And you must fill out that application based on the timelines for that school. And for University of Wisconsin-Madison, that means by the early action deadline. So moving along, it talks about the directions for the four-year college application process. Our general rule, submit before October 31st. You don't have to for all applications, but we say that because certain applications have deadlines, and if they do, often they are around this time. It also provides a great relief when you are done with this part of things. There are some links here that we want you to be aware of. This first one is a link that goes right to our Monona Grove High School post-secondary planning page. This will have all kinds of resources on it, including checklists, so things that seniors can do to help them get prepared. There'll be things in there that talk about how to apply to schools. There will be things in there that talk about financial aid, and there will be the presentation from last year's financial aid night. So it's a great resource, so remember this site. There will be information in there about that was supplied in last year's junior seminar that really provides a lot of direction and guidance as you are looking at where to apply, how to apply. This part is super important. Directions to apply, UW System School. So if you're applying within the UW system only, apply using the Wisconsin application because a lot of the information that you use will be transferred from one page to the next. If you're applying to schools that are outside of the universities of the Wisconsin system, or a combination thereof, you might want to use the Common Application, and I've referenced this application before. Almost 1,000 schools use this application, so it's a really great way to apply to many schools without having to re-enter your information over and over again. Regardless of what you use, make sure you are very complete in what you submit and that it represents you well, which leads me to the essays. Oftentimes, you will need to submit at least one essay with your application. Some tips for you. Make sure you answer the question that you are being asked. That is one of the things that admissions counselors share with us that is a concern to them. Students might write a beautiful essay, but if it doesn't answer the question, that is a strike against you. It is okay to have people proofread your essays. In fact, we encourage it. Oftentimes, a teacher might be willing if you ask in advance. Sometimes a counselor can. Sometimes somebody you live with might be the best person because they might have ideas of things that after you write the essay, they might say, that's great, and maybe you'll include this. Again, that senior information form we've talked about a few times. You need to share that with your counselor and your recommenders. Common application, some things that you need to know. You click on this link and it'll take you right to the Common App. Right here on this link has a lot of different helpful things on, and it'll have videos and it'll have tips on how to fill out the Common Application. Letters of rec, if needed, we talked about how to do that within the Common App. First, you will request them or invite them, and after that, you assign them to each individual school. So let's say you've applied to 5 schools. If you want them to submit a letter to each of those schools, you would be assigning them 5 different times. Within the Common App, your counselor, your school counselor, is a very important piece. There's a specific section within the Common App that talks about the counselor. You will list your school counselor's name and their email address. From there, we, the school counselor, will be submitting certain things like your transcript. We will submit it through the Common Application. You don't need to request that a different way. We will have some evaluation things that we need to do on your behalf within that as well. That's part of why we encourage you not to ask us to write a letter of recommendation for you, because we are already writing one on your behalf. The schools listed below are the UW schools that are also on the Common Application, so that is for your reference when you're trying to decide which application to use. I'm going to back up once, my apologies. If you're applying to colleges not through the Common Application, you will need to request your transcript through something called Parchment. And the Parchment link is on that senior information, or the spot for the senior slides, but I'll talk more about that later for you as well. College Application Review. UW system apps almost all start reviewing August 1st, so that is happening right now. So go ahead, start those applications, get working on things. Common App, similarly, they have started, so once you're doing things, people will be looking at it. The Direct Admit, if you know you're only applying to UW system schools, whether they're on Common App or not, but you know you're only applying through the Universities of Wisconsin systems, and you have Direct Admit, we encourage you to use the UW system application because there's a spot there that will take you to that Direct Admit form. There are 3 types of admission. The first type of admission is called rolling admission, which means that as colleges receive your application, they will review it and they will get back to you. The next is called early action. Early action means a student applies early and a decision is made at a certain time, and they will provide that to you. Meaning, if you apply by their deadline, again, that October 31st I talked about, they then say, we will provide you an answer of whether you have been admitted, denied, or possibly waitlisted by a certain date. UW-Madison is one of those schools. So if you apply by their November 1st deadline, they then say to you, we will get back to you, typically it's by January. All students receive a letter at the same time. Early decision is the most restrictive. When you apply early decision, it is binding, meaning if they accept you into that school, you must rescind your applications to all of the other schools you apply. When you are applying early action and early decision, plan accordingly. There are things that your recommenders and certainly your school counselors need to do. So if a deadline for an application is November 1st, make sure you give us at least 2 weeks so that we can fill out the things that we need to on your behalf so that you meet the deadlines you need. There's a link here to the Wisconsin private colleges. Again, we understand that some of you will be going out of state as well. Again, a majority of our students will at least be applying within Wisconsin. We certainly encourage you to look at our excellent private colleges in Wisconsin. While that sticker price makes them look very, very expensive, and they are, oftentimes there is more free money, meaning scholarships and grants, that can bring that tuition down to a much lower rate, making them very affordable. And a lot of times the private colleges have very small class sizes and professor to student ratio, etc. So it's a great opportunity to look at. College courses in high school. On your applications, it's likely going to say, did you take any college courses in high school? So if you participated in Start College Now at Madison College or the ECCP program at UW-Madison, you will answer yes. From there, you will have to submit a transcript directly from those schools, once you've completed those courses, to the colleges. We cannot do that for you from the high school. So an example that tends to be common, if you're taking, as an example, Spanish 5, that's ECCP through UW Green Bay. When you've completed that course, you will need to have your transcript submitted from UWGB to whatever other college you are going to. Your high school will still submit your other transcript when you request that at the end of the year. A very important note, AP classes, advanced placement classes, are not considered college courses in high school. While you might earn college credit based on your AP scores if you take the exams, they are not college courses in high school. Wisconsin technical colleges. A majority of our students who attend a technical college will go to Madison College. So for your convenience, we have included contact information for the representative that works directly with Monona Grove High School, Jennifer Helminski. That is her email and her phone number. and the general contact for the College Access Navigator team there. Do not be afraid to reach out to them, as they are a great resource for you. We also want you to know, jumping down a bit to the last bullet, Jennifer Helminski will be here in September. The dates will be on the announcements, where she will come in and you can apply with her in the IMC. So by the time you walk into the IMC and when you leave, your whole application to Madison College can be complete. You will need to bring your Social Security number with you if you have one at that time. As counselors, we will submit your transcript at that time as well. So that's important for you to know. The ACT you completed during your junior year will serve as a placement test. If you did not complete the ACT, you will need to register to take the Accuplacer at Madison College. Noting on this third bullet here, almost all health-related programs, as well as some other high-demand programs, have a fall 2024 deadline, so almost right away. So if you know you're going into some of these programs, please make sure you apply very early. There's something called a petition process that you will likely also have to go through, and questions about that can be directed directly to, again, Jenny Helminski. ACT or SAT. Again, most of you have taken the ACT at Monona Grove High School last year. Most schools, they are still, the ACT is still a test optional process. But if you do take an ACT and you do well on it, oftentimes you might receive more money through scholarships. So if you don't like your score, certainly consider retaking the ACT yet this fall, and we have included a link for you there. I talked a little bit about ordering transcripts before. There are two main ways. One is through Parchment and one is through the Common Application. If you are a Common Application student, so you're applying through the Common App, again, as I've told you, your school counselor will be providing your transcript for you. You don't need to do anything else. If you're applying through the Universities of Wisconsin System application, or often to other schools not through Common App, you will go to this direct link here at parchment.com. First step is to create an account. You might have done that in your ACP last year as a junior, but if not, you will create your account. Again, we encourage you to use a personal email. Once you have requested a transcript, it will be released directly to the college or university. We have directions on our website that tell you and walk you through the Parchment process. When you are doing final transcripts, you will click this bullet. They'll talk about send now or hold for grades. For final transcripts at the end of the year, if you complete that in May, as an example, you're trying to finish these things, you will click hold for grades, because then we'll submit your final transcript. If you're doing it now for admissions purposes, you would click on send now. Financial aid is a big part, and we understand that. There is a financial aid night scheduled for October 9th at 6 p.m. in our auditorium. Please plan on attending. We will have an expert representative there who will give a presentation, and she will follow that with a question and answer session for all people, and stay after for personal questions that are specific to you. The FAFSA, the Free Application for Financial Aid form, is a form that there are no fees. It will be available on or before December 1st of this year. Some school scholarships have end dates as early as November 15th, another reason to apply early. Again, if the FAFSA does not open until December 1st, they will likely bump that date back a little bit. School counselors do not have any magic wands or no tricks for how you can get money, so we are sharing with you what we know. 1, the FAFSA. 2, go to your school's website. Every university has a place on it that will talk about financial aid and scholarships. Oftentimes, that is going to be the best place to find out where can I get scholarships that apply to this school. On our website, we also will keep track of scholarship information that comes into our office. Check there often to see what you may or may not apply, what you may or may not be relevant or that you meet the criteria for. Additionally, you will note that we have a senior scholarship opportunity. There will be announcements about that. That is a local scholarship. There'll be a very specific application that you will need to fill out for that. More information will be forthcoming. Bottom line, apply, apply, apply. You can't receive money if you don't apply. Sometimes students will say to us, well, should I apply for this scholarship? It's only $500. If that application for that scholarship takes you an hour and you earn that scholarship, very few jobs give you $500 to that hour. So yes, we encourage you to do that. QuestBridge is something that if you are a student with outstanding academic ability and significant financial challenges, QuestBridge is something we would want you to explore. If you look right here, you're going to see you need to see your counselor by September 15th. If you are somebody who does qualify for this program, by clicking here you will find out if you do. But you must see your counselor by September 15th because the deadline is fast approaching, September 26th. The Wisconsin Education Fair is coming up. That's for juniors and seniors. It's Thursday, October 3rd. The due date to sign up, so get a permission slip in, is September 24th. There are over 100 colleges that are on site at Sun Prairie West, but you must go with the school at the specific times that we have. So you would need to sign up for the education fair through us. Great opportunity if you're not sure what you want to do after high school. One-stop shop to find out about majors, financial aid, scholarship. What do the colleges have in store that you might be interested in? So please consider that. If you are an athlete and you plan to participate in college athletics, please visit the NC2A Eligibility Center. The link is listed here. If you are a D1 or D2 athlete, you must register through the for the Eligibility Center. And if you're D1, you will have to create a very specific account. Go to the site, get information from it. If you have questions after that, you can see your coach, you can see our activities director, Mr. Joe Schneider, and as always, you can see your school counselor. The school counselors put on college application workshops. We do these in the library. Here is the schedule for that. At these times, a school counselor will be available to answer any questions that you have on applications. We want you to go during your study hall or open campus or during lunchtime if possible. You don't need to go when your specific school counselor is in the library. We are there to answer any questions for any students. In the past couple of years since we've been running these, students have been super appreciative of being able to get help right there on the spot as they work through applications. You will note that all of these are before those early action deadlines so that we can really help you work through things. Some final reminders. Please enjoy your senior year. We know it goes by very quickly. And take that senior year very seriously. Visit colleges. Go to the military visits that come down, that when the military reps come to the Student Services office. Participate in virtual tours. Make sure you're seeing your counselor so that we can help you walk through this process. Again, submit those applications before deadlines and make sure if there are deadlines, you give plenty of time for the letters of recommenders to write them and for counselors to do what they can do. Note that you will be submitting what courses you are currently taking senior year. If you drop a class after you have applied, colleges are expecting you to take what you said you were going to take. So you will need to contact the colleges you apply to make sure that they are okay with you making the decision to change courses. Males, after you turn 18, you must register with the Selective Service. That's not a school rule, that's a federal rule, but here's some information on that for you. And thank you. We are excited for you. Senior year is a fun time, and there are some things that are very nerve-wracking. Your counselors are here to help you and walk you through this process, and we are here to celebrate with you. The very best of luck, and welcome back, class of 2025.